Ooh, maybe.
Excuse me. Howdy, I'm Jimmy. Thanks for joining me out in the garden today. The saltiest man in all of the realm. Who knows? But I gotta come clean. I gotta be honest. I've been holding back a lot. A lot. Because I don't think people are ready to hear the truth of the age that they're in. And I've just found that it's easier to talk about spirituality. It's way easier to just go off into your imagination and try to uncover those deep treasures within, kind of help guide people that way. It's a lot less controversial than the truth, than the physical, material world that we share and what's going on in it. So I figure I might as well do my best to kind of bring you up to speed with the way I see it here. You know, I enjoy listening to people that they kind of, I listen to people like every week, and I like to just see their top of the mind, their current idea, what's new with them, what's their latest thought, where's their imagination taking them. I don't want to hear about the past. I don't want to hear about, it's like, everything's always changing and moving and flowing. And it's just nice to get the up to the minute, latest and greatest. So I want to share that with you, the way that I see things. I've been taking a lot of salt baths. It was another week of just straight clouds, a lot of rain, drippy rain here and there. Taking these salt baths, it really makes you think of alchemy. And salt, with alchemy is, it dissolves things. So like the name of my channel, Luminous Emptiness, I found that emptying out the crud that other people have put into you is kind of necessary if you want to get anywhere near the truth, anywhere near knowing who you are within, not what people tell you without that you are, but the actual real essence that you are. And I guess I don't like labels. I really don't. But I'm one of those conspiracy guys. It's, I don't trust what people tell me. I have to experience it. I have to actually do the experiment and verify it. Just because I've been lied to so much in the past, it's become that much of a requirement for me to take. If I'm going to take a leap forward, a leap of faith, I have to know internally that I'm headed in the right direction, not based off of what anybody else has to say or what a group psychology or social engineers are pushing. It's such a war on the mind, war of spiritual. It's a giant spiritual war going on right now. But in the material realm of things, you kind of have to realize the money systems, the governments, the war machine, the news media, Hollywood, all the football, good old baseball, like all these things, religion, Christianity, Islam, all of these things that have been here before you, and that that was just something passed down to you, right? You're like in America, we're passed down this story about 1776 and the founding fathers and how they created freedom for us, and how, now there's soldiers that go have to kill people to continue the freedom, right? You're told this big story, and you really have to trust it in a way, because if you don't, you get punished, right? Until you become independent of all these systems, and then you can then it really doesn't matter what you think about government or these things. You're not attached to it like so many people have become. So I guess what I'm trying to say, basically, most people are living an absolute false reality at this point. In 2025, it's 1984 for anybody paying any attention. Time has stopped. History is done. It seems like in the 1800s, I think, if you're going to put a date on it, 1888, somewhere around then, history was erased, and somebody came up with a whole new script, a whole new idea to implant into humans. They call it the New World Order, right? We're living in it. There's all these strange psyops to make you think they're building a New World Order. Supposedly the president's fighting the New World Order. No, we've been in a New World Order for like 200 years or so, to where they erased everything that we've known and created a total false reality based on control, based on there's no free energy. You have to work. And there's a meter on everything. Everywhere you go, you got to pay for the gas, you got to pay for the electricity. Like it's a world bent around money and control. And it's been fabricated for hundreds of years to get to this point right now where we have the internet. They started off with horse and buggy people and just brainwashing them and getting them into factories to mass produce a bunch of stuff. And it's been, and you got to understand, every generation they've rewrote history the past couple hundred years. Like in those periods, people thought totally different about things, but what we're taught is they all thought this one way. They all were that. No, it's just like it is right now. So much diversity in thought, so many people seeing it differently. But unfortunately, what is it? Mass formation, right? It's just people have been herded into this collective way of thinking that it just never worked for me. It always seemed off and strange, and now I understand it. They're literally in a hypnotic state. Most people are in a trance every day. Like once you let go of that part inside of you, the conscience, the part that it has no fear. It doesn't have to have any answers. It's just kind of here, experiencing things. Like once you let go of that and say it has to be this way, I have to be a Republican, and we have to stop the Democrats, or I have to be a Christian and I have to support the Zionists. You basically shut off your connection to the higher realms, to higher consciousness, because you have become so arrogant to think that you have it all figured out. And I'm not saying I have it all figured out. It's just I've done enough investigation. I've had enough experiences with cults. I mean, if it all comes down to a cult. Every country is its own cult. each generation is kind of raised in its own cultish way, right? We all label each generation the cult of boomers, right? The boomers, they're blah, blah, blah. The cult of Gen X and the cult of the millennials, right? Everybody likes to bash on the millennials. That's what I am, I guess. I like to say we don't know what the real world is, right? But being raised in a false reality with a bunch of people worshiping money and just being able to step out of that and notice all of the cults that people have been put into, it takes a lot. And I'm saying all this, right? Like, I also want to bring up the fact that you look in the sky above you and you're told that there's planets, you're told that there's a moon that people have landed on. Beyond a shadow of a doubt, none of that exists. The moon is the same size as the sun. The moon is putting out a cold light at night to cool things off. It's a very balanced place that we live in already. And they've just, people have created a fake story to take you away from it. And just the harmony and the peace of it, and how the sky is a clock. And how the moon, I mean, we should have 13 months, 28-day moon cycles every month. Why do you think it's called a month? It's based off the moon. And all these planets, right, that they talk about, that they got all these billionaires, right, shooting rockets into the sky, claiming that they're going to go to Mars. None of it exists. They're lights in the sky. They're putting on a gigantic show to manipulate humanity. And I've lived through the show. I've seen enough. And to be here in 2025 and witnessing that, it's like, I'm only one of the few, I guess, that is actually picking up on what's going on here. It's like, I gotta say it. I gotta look like a crazy person. I created this YouTube channel as a safe space for me to talk. Okay? I'm not going to war with nobody. I'm not going to physically do nothing. Alright? I am here for peace. And I figure I have a wit. I have a mind to use. I don't need to use violence. And you got to understand how most people are controlled through wit. They're controlled through fear of somebody else. It's not physical violence that is making everything happen in this realm. It's mind control. It's whipping people's minds into a shape, into a box. I've been trying to avoid these talks, and I just realize it is what I am. It's what I want to talk about. I'm just tired of letting lies just constantly reverberate in the realm. Okay, it's time for the sharp, fiery truth to come out and start burning up all these lies. So I think this year it's time just to get a little more crazy. It's the only way to put it. Say things that are going to piss people off. Say things that people don't want to hear. It's been a theme in my entire life. And why stop now? But you got to be able to handle it. I don't know. I've just always been able to handle the truth. It's like when I hear of a major false flag operation like 9/11, you know, when I discovered all that, it was a big relief. It's like, oh, I knew it. I knew these people were just lying. But for most people, it's not a relief to know that everything they've been told is a lie. It's like the scare. I can't understand it. Like, you got to see my perspective, where I'm coming from. I don't understand how the truth can hurt. Because it's to me, it's like the starting point is the truth. Like you got to start there, and then you can like feel stuff and hurt. If you're just wanting to feel good all the time, and people just have to keep telling you what you want to hear, that's scary to me. That's like, wow. And you just realize that's what you're living in. You're living in your sort of nightmare, to where they've all been taken. Most of these people have been taken by some force of consciousness far greater than them. But they allowed it to happen. Unless they're bots. I mean, there's always the possibility that we're surrounded by a bunch of bots that look like humans. I mean, I'm pretty open to all these possibilities. But I know there are others like me that like David Icke. I think I could always point to David Icke, Jeff Berwick. Those are kind of the two conspiracy guys that I still can follow and still agree with. It's hard to talk about any of these other ones that I've followed throughout the years. Like Alex Jones. Like I used to watch him, and now it's like he was a part of the government the whole time. He was a psyop the whole time. Wanting you to get frustrated about these things, wanting you to join a side, you know, not seeing the bigger picture. And I guess the big my last video, I talked about how money's the root of all evil. And, you know, it's not the root of all evil, but I'll tell you, it is their main tool to get evil done right around you, right in front of everybody. They pay people to do all these crazy things. They pay people to go to war. That's another thing I want to mention. Like, they're getting ready to start some wars, right? And it's exactly when they fake, you know, that they're going to make peace. They have this guy up there running around faking peace while he's getting ready to turn it up. It's just how the manipulation works. You're using the internet to see the opinions, and then they're putting out their story next week to flip that opinion. It's a constant manipulation spellcasting game that we're involved in. And if you don't see it, you're going to have some rough times ahead. But it seems like it's the money. It seems like they're going to do something with the money supply to make everybody suffer, because that's what they have the most control over, and they have all the money in the world, and they can print it out. So it doesn't matter if they make everything cost twice as much. It doesn't matter. What matters is getting the people to obey and to move in the direction. And what direction are they putting the people in? They want to brain chip them. They want to chip everybody and have scanners everywhere, tracking and tracing. They want to have drones everywhere. The past 10 years studying like what they want to do is like, yeah, we've been studying all this stuff. They want to surveil everybody. They want to track and trace everybody with biometrics. And now to see like they have the guy in place that's getting all that together for them, and the public's cheering on their own prison being built around them. It's why I'm saying this. It's because you're really not gonna hear people talk like this. It's too taboo to have free thought and to realize like these people that have unlimited power, no checks and balances, no accountability, they're just ruling you ruthlessly. They don't even care about keeping the tricks good anymore. Like, they're terrible, stupid tricks they're playing. It's like really dumbed down stuff that they're using to get people to fall for it. And it just makes perfect sense the way corruption works versus the way purity works. Like, as corruption grows, it gets sloppier, it gets bigger, nastier, it gets smellier. It's more easy to spot. And so if you're purifying yourself from within and you're becoming wiser, you're becoming cleaner, you're not allowing those things that used to control you, that used to spin you off, that used to make you feel bad, you're not allowing that anymore. And you're seeing your life clearly, and then you're taking a look out at the rest of the world. You see it a lot clearer than you did 10 years ago. You start to realize, like, it's just, these people are getting dumber. The tricks are getting dumber. I'm just amazed at how stupid it all is. It wouldn't take much for people to research and find out these things that I'm talking about, do their own experiments. But there's a deep fear embedded in most people to where if they ever found out that they have been lied to, if they ever found out that they've been doing the wrong thing their entire life, they can't stomach it. They would rather go down with a sinking, corrupt ship. It's just the pride that some people have inside them. They're so prideful. They can't admit they were wrong for so long. And it's just, to me, that's my saving grace. I was wrong about everything growing up. I was wrong about everything in my 20s. I'm still wrong about a lot of stuff. But I know the dynamic that's happening in humanity. It's just mind tricks, propaganda, total spell casting. Every day they broadcast. You know, they're basically creating stories. They're using intelligence agencies to create false flag events, and then they're creating a story off that event that was created. I'll have to put in a clip of the Mossad and how they said, they're the actors and the world is their stage, and how they're just faking everything. Like the Mossad, the Israeli intelligence came out and said all that on CBS or something. I'll put that clip in because they openly admit all this too. That's the crazy thing about it.
Well, obviously, they didn't know that they were buying it from Israel.
Who did they buy it from, or think they were buying it from?
We have an incredible array of possibilities of creating foreign companies that have no way being traced back to Israel. Shell companies over shell companies who affect the supply chain to our favor. We create a pretend world. We are a global production company. We write the screenplay. We're the directors. We're the producers. We're the main actors. The world is our stage.
It's all out in the open, but people have willfully blinded themselves from these truths for a false comfort, for a temporary comfort, for the rugs ripped out from under them all. And it just seems like one of those years to where they got their guy in power, and man, the people are cheering on whatever he has to do and defending everything he does. So they're going to use that to their advantage. Like, you got to understand, Trump is their most powerful magician. He is the greatest divider of mankind to this point. There's nobody else that can divide people as much as he can. And I just have a deep knowing that the only way to unite people is the truth, is coming clean, admitting I was wrong, I was stupid. When you have a difference with a loved one or somebody, and you have a heart-to-heart talk, and you're like, God, I was just misunderstanding you. And it's like you both were pissed off about something, but you were both thinking a totally different way. It's like you just, all you need to do is talk for 5 minutes and realize, oh, I meant that. I didn't mean that. just need to come clean with each other. But these people that run the show, that run run the government, will never come clean. They're on a non-stop train of deception. And it's kind of like at its most powerful point. You know, they're able to do so much to so many people right now with their manipulation. That's why I gotta say this stuff. In closing, I want to talk about the solutions. Everybody already knows the solutions. Simplify your lives. Start using your body again to grow food, to build a shelter. Stop feeding these systems of control, okay? Stop doing computer work. My goodness, like, you got to get away from the computer stuff. That's only empowering these AI systems and all of this dehumanization that's going on. You got to drop technology, okay? And start being human again, all right? It'll become comfortable to be out in nature. It's the most comfortable thing for me. I used to stare at screens all the time. I had so many IT jobs, and just year after year, I just show up and stare at a screen for 8 hours a day. And I just realized how it robbed me of my energy. It's just we have all the answers. Simplify, go back to nature. Take salt baths. Something about the salt baths just heal everything. And I'm beginning to wonder, like, my dad has high blood pressure problems and he takes a blood thinner, you know. And I just wonder if you did like a month straight of salt baths, would that just cure it? Because I've done a couple months of salt baths, and my whole body has changed. I don't know. I just do not get frustrated. But I don't drink either. Like, I got rid of the Al Ghul spirit, the body consuming the alcohol, the Al Ghul. Tell you, getting rid of alcohol really stops the frustration. But taking salt baths, I feel like it lowers your blood pressure. It regulates it correctly. And you just think, all these people on blood thinners, they probably could have just taken salt baths every now and then. They don't have to eat rat poison. And then when they, get a cut, it's like they get stuck like a pig. All these ailments, all these issues that people are going to the hospital for, you could probably just lay naked in the sunlight and heal. You could probably just drink clean water continuously, like for months at a time, instead of drinking polluted city water with fluoride in it, drinking plastic bottles. I mean, the latest, and this is something we've all known, but you mix water with oil, you see what happens. The oil drips into the water. It does not dissolve, okay? So you got to think about all of this plastic packaged food that people are eating. People are eating so much plastic right now, and their body is made out of water. And there's all this plastic getting into them and hardening certain parts of them. And it's getting in their brain and making them stupid. Like, you have to understand this whole plastic oil regime that's in all your food. It's dumbed people down to such an extent they don't even realize it. They eat poison all the time and they're okay with it. It's all been designed too. It's just, it's a lot. I don't know. It's probably a lot to take in for people. Just some of these simple facts of what's going on this age. So I've given you, a simple solution. Go back to nature. Go back to homesteading. Go back to simplicity. Get away from technology. I don't know what else to say, right? If you think it's going to keep going and going, going and going and going, and it's a good thing, right? You're going to be sitting in a pod one day with a brain chip. I don't know what to tell you. It's what they have planned for you. So it'll be fun to be out here in nature and see those people and be like, God, now they don't even have a choice. They literally are a part of the collective Borg. I don't know. It's got to happen. This is a realm where anything can happen, right? But my final note on this discussion, if you can stomach all that stuff that I just said, if you can really understand that you're up against, it's what it seems like impossible. It seems like this stranglehold that these people, these dark magicians, dark MAGA, has over humanity right now. And I mean, I'm talking about both sides of the spectrum. I'm just talking about government in general and its fake play that it's putting on for people, fake warfare. All the countries are controlled by a small group. They're not actually independent. We're all created to enslave humanity in this new world order. Welcome to the new world order, if you haven't realized it yet. Okay, like I said before, this is 1984. Time has stopped. The party makes up reality. It's just what's been happening my entire life. And I have to point it out. But if you can stomach all of that and still find a purpose here, still, like, personally, I am so curious. Can this corruption last another 50 years? Can this level of corruption last another 5, 10 years? Especially people like me lighting all these fires, burning it up, getting rid of it right in front of us every day. I just realized that when I was a child, I didn't see any of this stuff. I didn't think any of this stuff. I was not prepared for any of it, it seems like. But there was something deep inside of me that just said, keep going. You know, there's something inside all of us that it's more powerful than what we can imagine. It's far more powerful than the corruption that we're up against. And I just know that if I've come this far, who knows how further it will go? Who knows how much further this potential will lead? And I'm just curious about that. Like, can this realm be purified? And I've got it in me. Do I have it in me to help with this purification of such a dirty, nasty, corrupt mess? You know? I think people will surprise you when these hard times come. I think a lot of people are hiding away. A lot of people have their masks on. They don't want to say these things that I'm saying out loud for fear of persecution. And I guess I've always been kind of a leader in all my different forms of life that I've led. And I just got to be out with it. All right? We're up against everything you could imagine. And it doesn't matter. It's like there's still this deep peace within that could never be shaken or stirred by these people and their tricks. And I just wonder if this deep peace within me can grow outwardly. And that's the whole point I'm here. You know, that's the whole point you're here, maybe. And it's supposed to seem totally insane and crazy and impossible. And that just makes it 10 times funner. So I know I've gone on way too long with this conspiracy talk, but I wanted to do it, give people encouragement if they are thinking the same ways that I'm thinking, seeing the same things. It's might as well say it. You're not alone. We're never alone here. So I love you guys. Thank you